Hey folks, welcome back to Painting with Victor. I'm out here in my garage today and I'm working on a brush rack here for a friend of mine, a fellow artist, and I'd made one for her before and she really liked it, and we were down doing a podcast earlier in the week and she said, if you had some extra lumber, I'd appreciate it if you could build me another one. And so that's what I worked on a little bit the last couple of days. Just to bring this in a little bit closer, hopefully you can see this. It's just some blocks of wood that I've glued together here. This is about a 3-inch wide by ½ inch that I glued on top of this piece here. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be drilling some holes in the top piece right here. Probably a good 15 to 20 holes, various sizes, and then down here, this little level here, you can see it's a little bit lower. This is going to be for smaller brushes, smaller handle brushes. Some of your liner brushes and short brushes will go in the front here. I created one already. This is one that I use in my studio here. This has got various holes here at the top. Some are larger. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 that are pretty big holes here because some brushes that I use have a fat handle on them. They're short, but they have a fat handle on them. And then I've got regular holes down through here. And this just fits in so nicely like so. And so when I'm working in my studio, instead of holding the brushes in my hand and getting the paint all mixed up or laying them down somewhere, I can use this brush rack right here. And it does a great job for me. I think it does good. And I'm going to build another one. This one I stained, and I'm gonna stain this one here too once I get the holes in. So just kind of looking at this one here, I've got, let's see, 2, 4, 6. I got 29 holes up here, so that will hold 29 different brushes. And down here at the bottom, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, I can get 12 smaller, shorter, thinner handle brushes down here in the front, little liner brushes and detail brushes and stuff like that. So this one holds quite a bit. So I'm gonna build this one here. One of the things I'll be doing here is I'm gonna kind of mark out where I want the holes to go. I've just got these brushes here, and the holes that I have already in this particular brush rack down here is spaced out pretty good. But this one I've got a lot of space because it's wider across here than this one is. So you can get a lot more brushes in here. In fact, when I take it to the artist, they may use this one primarily because you can get a lot more brushes in there. And I use a lot of brushes when I paint. I've used a dozen or more brushes. I've used close to 20 before. And, you know, it might be several filberts, flats, brights, you know, different size flats. And, you know, I'll use some for darks, some for lights, that kind of thing. But I'm not the type that would just keep wiping out a brush and cleaning it like you may see in other videos or other artists do that. You know, they'll really clean it out. You know, Bob Ross used to do that. But I just use it and I set it to the side and I set it on my brush rack. And if I have a similar color, I was painting earlier and this has got like a little orange, yellow, and little tint of red to it. If I'm using color similar to that, yes, I'll wipe this off as best I can and then use it to mix. So I'm not just, you know, using a whole slew of brushes, but I try to reuse them. But I'm setting this one off to the side. I'm just going to kind of take a look here at how many holes I could get in this particular, brush rack. I'm just got a little pencil here, and I'm just going to draw some little circles there, and just kind of look at, because how many I might want to consider, putting in here. Just kind of blocking this in like so, and I got 3. Let me just keep working across here like this. Just see how many I can get across here at the top. And if I need to go and make, them a little bit closer, I will. But I'm just spacing this out roughly, gosh, an inch and a half, something like that, inch to an inch and a half. And we're going to see how it comes out down here toward the end and see what this looks like. All right, so right there I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I could probably get 9 in the front here. So that's 18. You could get 18 brushes on this thing. I could make the holes a little bit closer and possibly do 3 rows of brushes here, but I don't want to put too many, have them too many right there together, because if you notice in this one here, you can get brushes really close together. They will lean over a little bit because it's just the size of the hole and that kind of thing. So, but anyway, this one's spaced out pretty good. So I could get, I probably could get, if this was 9, I could probably get close to maybe twice that many, possibly, or a good 15 or 16 in there. So I'm going to erase some of this and just kind of get rid of these marks that I had on here. These are just marks that will help me when I get the drill out and start drilling the holes in. So I'm just going to put this one just a little bit closer here. And I could probably, all right, I'm going to measure that. I always keep a little ruler in my pocket, because I'm going to, craft stores, buying frames. When you go down to Goodwill, I do a lot of shopping down there for old frames. You don't know what size it is, and I'll have my trusty little measuring tape, and I can just measure the size of the frame. It's something I need, I can buy it. But right now I'm just going to take this out, and really these are about an inch apart. So let me just look at this right quick. I could almost get 12 across here and then 12 in the front. So I could get 24 brushes right here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mark this to where I'm getting about, hopefully I can do this. Yeah, I think I can. Yeah, I'm just marking these. The center of the hole will be about an inch from the other one there. And just kind of make sure I've got that kind of lined up as I go across here. And that last one right there, just a little bit close to the edge, but I think it'll be okay. Yeah, I think it'll be all right. So those are about an inch or so apart, and then I'm going to put some down here too in front. But I might only do 11 because I want to kind of stagger it a little bit to where it's kind of in between. In fact, I'm going to bring this up a little bit closer, and you know what? I think I am going to do about 11 right there, and then do some right in that front row. So I'm going to have, because this is so much wider than this one here, I could get 3 rows of brushes, and then maybe some shorter brushes down there. So I'm just going to put, mark this off right here. Just doing it an inch apart from the center of the hole. Okay, just kind of doing a half circle. That gives me an idea of where I want the hole to be. And just kind of drawing that over. Trying to make sure my line is straight. But it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not rocket science. I mean, you just building a little brush rack. These things really come in handy. All right, so turn that around. I can do it from here. I'm just going to complete the little circle there. That way I know how far down it goes. That's good. Doing that all the way down. I've only got 11 on the second row. Okay, you got 11 across there. So now I'm going to come down here to this end piece here, and we're going to see, get this thing adjusted here. So let me throw that out just a little bit more. Yeah, that's good right there. I'm just going to put a little mark right here at the 1 inch line, because I'm not sure how far apart I've got this ruler from that middle row that I just specced out. So I want to make sure that I've got enough room in between them to actually, drill my hole. I don't want it to be too close in there. So I'm just marking it as I come down. All right, that looks pretty good. Just turn this around and look at it right quick. Oh yeah, I've got plenty of room. So what I can do is I'm just going to draw a little circle here, like so. And actually coming from that line and making the circle be right above that line. The circle or that line is like at the bottom. Draw these in here at the top as well, so I can kind of get an idea of where the hole's going to be, approximately the size. I've got a variety of drill bits, sizes, and everything that I'm going to use. Got my trusty little DeWalt drill bits. We'll just draw this one in right here. All right, that's pretty good. In fact, I could have gone a little bit higher on that row at the top. In fact, I think I might do that. I think let's go just a little bit higher. It's just almost like a snowman that I'm drawing there. Make it a little bit closer to the top. I've got plenty of room, plenty of wood there, which is fine. Just making it at the top. I mean, it looks kind of silly right now, but I'll erase that. And basically what I'm going to do is I'll sand all that off, erase all that off, make it look good. And I'm going to stain it just like this one here is stained. Hopefully you can see that. I'll just lift it up here. Hopefully you can see that. This one's stained, and I'll stain the other one because the one I built for her is stained, and I wanted it to match and everything. So I said, okay, well, I'll stain the other one. I could have left it just plain, what I call plain naked wood, but I used 2 or 3 different pieces of wood, so we'll just have it consistent there. But yeah, that looks pretty good, actually. I'm going to try to erase some of this, just so when I go to drill these holes, I won't get confused. And I enjoy building stuff like this. I mean, if you're handy with drills and saws, and I got a little bandsaw here. This area I'm working on now is part of my table saw. I've got a miter saw over here. My drill. If you're handy with tools and things, I suggest you build your own brush racks, your own easel, that kind of thing, because you can save a lot of money. Sure, you're gonna spend some money on some wood, but this was all scrap wood. This is all some wood that I had left over from building shadow box frames, and I may do a video on that. This is a shadow box, or not really a shadow box, but a floating frame that I built. This is like a 9 by 12, I think. Let me measure that off right quick just to see. Got my curiosity up. Yeah, 9 by 12. I did a couple of 11 by 14s that I've got over there and built those using my miter saw and everything. And I'll do a little video on that because that was really neat and really a fun project that I did. Okay, so I've got this drawn out. So I'm just going to count here. I think that's 12 across there. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 24, 35. I mean, she can get 35 brushes on just this top portion. She's already got a brush rack. So she might be able just to use this one. But I'm going to put some little holes all the way down in the front here. And like I said, that's going to be for your smaller brushes, your liner brushes. Your liner brushes usually have a thinner, narrow handle on them. And they're shorter too, the handles are. But I'm just going to put some little dots in here and space this out. Not sure, how many I can get across the front, but I'm just coming along with this thing, and they don't have to be perfectly spaced, every one of them. I'm just eyeballing this. I might get down to the end and have a whole bunch of room left over, but actually that turned out pretty good. And let's say I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. She could get 14 extra brushes, liner brushes right in the front. So that's pretty darn good. Technically, I could keep this one and give her the one that I've already made, to be honest with you. I mean, because I do use a lot of brushes, and so this one's pretty good, because this one right here has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 20, 29. I can get 29 brushes up here. And then I've got, a dozen or so. Yeah, 12 down at the bottom here that I could, put brushes on. But anyway, all right, so we've got this taken care of right now. So that's looking good. The next step is going to be I'm going to drill some holes in here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little quick time lapse, possibly, of drilling the holes in there, and I'll add this to this particular video here, but that way, you can see, hey, I've got the holes in there, and we'll somehow do a little video on that. We'll see if it works out. If it does, I'll add it in. If not, I'll come back with a finished drilled out holes and then show you what it looks like, and then the next step is to start staining this bad boy. So thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned here. We're going to show you the finished product. All right, so we got the holes drilled out, and I drilled the holes all the way through, which is fine. The next step is you need to get you a little round file, wood file like this here. It's tapered off, at the end. And what I like to do is I like to go through, because the drill, it's got a lot of rough edges to it, okay, the holes do. So I like to sand it or file that down, get all those little rough spots out of the way. I just kind of work my file down in there. One of the things I'll do too is I'll run a block of sandpaper over it, get it good and smooth all the way around. I'm just working to get some of these little pieces, loose pieces out of the holes there, so the brush can slide down in there. You don't want any you don't want any wood kind of blocking the hole. I've already taken the brush earlier, and they fits right down in there nicely, which is great. So I just kind of file that down a little bit. This is all part of the woodworking experience here. I will sand this whole block down. It's funny how when I was drilling these little holes here, my drill, as I went down through, it actually put an indentation all the way across, and it's kind of neat looking there how that worked. It kind of looks like I did that on purpose, but kind of neat looking. But anyway, we're just trying to get all these little pieces of wood out of the hole there. Looks like some of these holes, yeah, some of them aren't straight in. I mean, that one's kind of leaning, but that's okay, because this helps with the brushes when you got several of them in there. You know, it's okay if the hole is going off in a little bit different direction. You know, it's okay. It works out fine. I could probably have that one somehow or another. I got a little level here, and I was trying to line that up as I was drilling these holes, but that's okay. It just got off just a little bit, but it's working fine. Like I said, I mean, this is a good one here. She might like that one better. Like I said earlier, I've already built one made one for her. And I was down there at her gallery back in September, about August, and we were getting ready for the show that I did at Greenlight Gallery, and I was down there manning the gallery for a little while in September, I think it was. Well, she was out of town, and she'd already had a trip planned. She asked me to come in and run the gallery while she was gone for about 3 days there, which was kind of a neat experience for me. I really enjoyed that, being down there, and I like to volunteer and help her out as much as I can. Paint, do some spackling in the walls when she's doing a new show, get all that taken care of. We use a gallery white. It's a color that you can get with Sherwin-Williams, but also Valspar has a color that's very close to that gallery white, which I may paint my studio walls, which my studio is upstairs above the garage, and so it's about 20 feet long and about 10 feet or 12 feet wide, but I've got walls that come up about 3 foot, 3.5 foot or whatever, and then the ceiling starts tapering up like this. And so, I don't have that very high walls, which I wish I did, more like a bedroom in a house. I mean, in our house, we probably have 11, 12 foot at least ceilings in the bedrooms and everything. And so I wish that studio upstairs above the garage was like that. The walls were like that. But I will paint the little walls. They are long overdue and needing some paint. I did paint the hallway and the stairs going up to it some time ago, and that looks real good. But then the rest of the gallery needs a touch of paint, because I had my eldest child lived up there for a while, and they used some type of adhesive material for these little lights that they had running around the walls and things like that. When they pulled them down, it just pulled the paint right off. So All right, I got a piece of sandpaper here. It's about a 150 grit, which I'm just going to run that over the top like so. That looks good there. We come along to the bottom. Just going to kind of sand this whole thing down, smooth out some rough edges around this thing, so you know it's not rough on your hand. You pick this up and move it around. And it cleans it up a little bit too. Come back here on the back side, the drill bit came all the way through. Got like a little staple in this wood. Just pull that staple out. Sand all that down. And it doesn't have to be pretty. I mean, this is just something that, you know, you can be rough with it. Just trying to get some of these holes cleaned out a little bit there. They're not too bad in the backside here, to be honest with you. All right, that's looking good. I'm just taking a drill bit, putting it down in the hole and just twisting it a little bit to get any little pieces of wood that didn't get removed when I was sticking the file, this round file, and taper down to the end here. When I was sticking that down in there, it wouldn't go all the way because this file is a lot wider, thicker than, you know, the brush, so it's not going to go down in there very, very far, just about ½ inch or so, if that. So I'm just trying to kind of work that down in there a little bit more and everything. But yeah, it just kind of cleans it up good. I'm just going to stick some of these brushes in here and just see how bad. Yeah, I mean, they're just leaning all over the place, which is I really don't care because you know, that way, you know, if I put one here and it's leaning forward and these are upright and that kind of thing, and stick this in the back, and you know, it works out good because all these are not touching each other, not even close, which is fine. And yeah, it's okay if they lean a little bit. They're not just straight up. I mean, this one here is more straight up. I don't know if I had a drill press or I was able to, hopefully I had my glasses on when I was doing all this, but you know, you can see a little bit better. But yeah, that one kind of leans out a little bit on mine, which is fine. It's not going to hurt anything. All right, so we got this cleaned up, and the next step, what we're going to do is we're actually going to wipe this off with a damp cloth to get any of the sawdust and fine sawdust off of it, clean it up, and then we'll take some wood stain and stain it, and it will have to dry for 2 or 3 days. So I'm going to try to deliver it next Wednesday. It's Saturday, and so hopefully it'll be ready. But this is just something that you guys can do if you're handy with wood. I mean, you could buy something like this online. Who knows what you're going to pay for it. But this is something I built out of some scrap wood that I had. And, you know, it really hadn't cost me anything but just a little bit of time and a little bit of know-how. So anyway, I encourage you to build you something like this. If you got any questions about the process, please let me know. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment down below as to what you'd like to see me do next. And thanks so much, guys, for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Okay, folks, welcome back to Painting with Victor. We've been working on this brush rack here, and I've got it all sanded down, and I'm getting ready to stain it. I highly recommend that you wear some rubber gloves for this. Stain gets messy. It will stain your hands, get on your clothes, that kind of thing, but I always try to wear some rubber gloves. And today I'm going to be using some Minwax wood finish. This is a dark walnut color. One of the things that I want to do here is just kind of wipe this wood down really good. Okay, like so. Getting all the little sawdust and loose particles and things like that off of my brush rack. Okay, so I've shaken this up real good because sometimes the stain will settle. So I like to shake it up really good. I shook it up a little bit before I started this video, but just trying to get this shook up a little bit here. I use these little washcloths here, the scrap towel actually, which comes in handy. Normally I'll use a staining, it's like a staining sponge or staining cloth if I'm going to do furniture or something like that, but for a brush rack, you know, I can just use this right here. Don't want to use paper towel or anything like that. But anyway, I got this. So we're going to dip it into our stain. And there we go. We're just going to add it on here. And that's looking pretty good. I like that color there. I've got several little cans of stain, different color. And I saw this one and I picked it out and I thought, man, it looks pretty doggone good. So we're getting the top in there, and then I'm going to do the side along here, getting this front area done. That's going on real nice. The thing about this is I've got different types of wood, which kind of makes it unique. But hey, that's okay. This is some scrap wood that I had. And the artist that I was working with, she said, hey, if you got some extra wood, scrap wood laying around, you know, if you could build me one, hey, I'd appreciate it. I could use it. She really depends on it now. I mean, she probably thinks, well, what did I do? How did I handle my brushes before I had my little brush rack? But anyway, I'm glad I could help her out. And that's the thing, artist. If you're a new to art, new to painting, get to know some artists. Try to you know, meet up with some artists, become friends with them, help them out. You know, they'll help you as well. It's about sharing our talents with other people. You know, you might say, well, you know, you're blessed with certain talents, and sometimes we are, but most of the time we develop talents. And people say, oh, I didn't realize you could paint. Well, I didn't either until I started trying and putting forth the effort and working at it every day. And, you know, then you just start painting and learning and growing and get better and better and better. But man, that is really looking good. I really like the color of this stain. Like I said, it's called a dark walnut by Minwax. And you can tell there's different types of wood on here, you know, because the color of the brush rack looks different because of different kinds of wood that is on here. I'm going to put a little bit more on the top, and I'm trying to get it to go down in those holes a little bit, kind of cover those up a little bit. I didn't get any today, and I have done this with others. I've taken a Q-tip, dipped it down in there, and just kind of poked it down into the holes and everything, and that works out pretty good too. So you could do that if you want to. I'm just trying to dip a bunch of the stuff on there and just let it run down in there and squeeze it off the rag down in there, and then I can just wipe off any excess like that. Okay. All right. I'm going to put a little coat of this on the bottom just to kind of cover it up too. Do work in an area that it's okay to be messy, okay? Because I've already dripped some of the stain onto this little tabletop here that I built to go over my my table saw work area. I just built this because it made it wider and kind of leveled it off a little bit, to be honest with you. I'm just trying to work this in a little bit, some of these cracks and crevices and stuff to get this thing stained in pretty good there. Yeah, that's looking good, looking really good. I'm really pleased with how this has turned out, and hopefully you will be too. Hopefully you like this. But anyway, that's about got it, guys, right there. Look at that. That's so cool. We got that bad boy setting up on its end. You can probably see down in the holes a little bit. I'll probably just run upstairs or in the house and get a Q-tip and just dab it in there in those holes. But anyway, hopefully you like that. This kind of completes the little process here. The next thing is let this dry for a couple or 3 days before I deliver it. And after that, it's ready to go. So you can see how messy this gets on your hands. You definitely want to use some rubber gloves, protect your hands, keep those from getting all stained up and nasty and everything. And it's very toxic as far as the smell and everything. So you want to work in a ventilated area. I'm in the garage, but it's a very cool 45-degree day outside. I got the garage door open. I got a lot of cool air, a lot of air circulating in here. So it's really not that bad. The rag, after you're finished with it, you can dispose of it. Sometimes you might want to let it dry out, but when you do dispose of it, make sure you do so in a way that, you know, it's not around any other material that could burst into flames, that kind of thing, because things like this are flammable, so be careful. So just want to encourage you to practice some safety there. And anyway, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it very much. Once again, this is Painting with Victor. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.